Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, 360 Sport. As usual, today will be another interesting moment on the show. I'll be talking something fascinating and something interesting as we look at a sport that has been one of the fastest growing sports in the country. It's a sport that a lot of people still wonder, even at this stage of its development, that what kind of sport is that? What are they doing and all that? We're talking about archery, and history is about to be made as we're looking at the first ever international archery tournament organized by Zen Archery, Lagos Open Tournament, and also you can call it an international tournament because it's open to all, and we have sportsmen and women outside the country coming in to participate in this wonderful moment on the show, on the program. So, but I won't be doing this alone. I have the chairman, local organizing committee of the Lagos Open Zen Archery tournament, who will be telling us about interesting moments and what we should be expecting and the impact this tournament will have on the growth of archery in the country. I welcome Madam Ronke Adewi-Oye on the show.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yes, it's so interesting that we see ladies involved in archery. Can you tell us your involvement with archery? Most of the times, there have always been men that involvement in archery, at least from a perspective that a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
That women, how do you get yourself involved in archery?
Okay, archery is a very interesting sport that can be done by both men and women, even people living with disabilities and even children, people under the age of 18. So it's a very versatile sport that can be done by, and it's quite a wide array of categories, basically. So yes, how I got involved in archery, the club opened in Ilupeju, and I used to stay in Ilupeju, and I was trying to find a sport I could do that could balance with work, because I wanted to be more active and then athletically, involved in a sport. Growing up, I was in sports in secondary school, a bit of university, and I felt there was a need to pick up a sport again, and actually the range was opening up in Ilupeju. And then I went there and I saw it was something I could do early in the morning. Instead of going to the gym, I could go there, shoot some shots, and in the evening after work I could also stop by and distress by just shooting. So that's how I got involved in archery. And I think also the community at the Zen Archery Club was also something that got me going, because when you have a community of people that are enthusiastic about the sport and bring out the best in you consistently, you tend to do it more. So yes, that's how I got involved in the sports of archery, and there are quite a number of females in the sports of archery.
Okay. At least that's enough to really take away. But what's been the benefit of your involvement in your personal things that you do, and what can you say about the sport and the future of the sport?
Personally, archery is a very great sport to develop mental attitude. Like, there's no how you can be stressed and shooting at the same time. It's a distressor. Secondly, it has helped to keep me fit, as with every sport, because you require a lot of stamina, you require a lot of upper body strength as well, and you require a lot of focus and, I don't even know the right word, but there's no way you are doing archery and not together. So I feel it brings that set type of balance. And then the second part of it is experiencing tournaments. I've been privileged to be part of about 3 tournaments now in the last 1 year, 2 locally and 1 internationally. And with every tournament and every time you engage other athletes, you see that your skills become better, you are doing more, and you are like breaking barriers of your personal best. Most times under tournament conditions, your adrenaline is pumping and you're pushing beyond the limits you had put in yourself when you were practicing. So I usually encourage any archer I meet that regardless of how bad you think you are or how good you think you are, ensure you test out your skills in a tournament. That's where you know where your limits really are, basically.
And interesting, because I've seen you several times in tournaments, and I also know, if I'm going to get a bit personal, that your family are also involved.
Yes, I have a daughter that's also an archer.
So you influence that?
Well, yes. Yes and no. Yes, because she saw me shooting and she wanted to try. and they know because she picked it up by herself and personally ensures she goes for training. Like, there are sometimes I'm the one hindering her practice. And she sets up her own schedule to go and practice without me, so that I don't stop her from going for her scheduled practices and all. So yes, I might have influenced her at the beginning to say, okay, mom is going to the range, I'm going as well. But she's setting her own trajectory and her own pace and saying, I'm doing this for myself, and I don't want you to be an obstacle to my
Interesting talking to you, and also knowing the fact that you also started as an athlete. Now, it seems you're not involved more in the administrative part of the job of archery. Now that you are the LOC, the chairman of the LOC of this coming command. Is there something administrative-wise, comparing you as an athlete? What are the challenges administrative, knowing that this sport has so many hurdles one needs to overcome?
Yes, so the management of sports, the planning of sports is actually, I'm beginning to realize, a very specialized skill. And you cannot manage or organize something when you don't understand it. And one other thing that has also helped is because I've experienced other tournaments, I've realized that there's a certain standard that is required to be able to ensure that athletes perform optimally and to world archery standards, which is what we are trying to infuse, basically. Because if you ensure that, our goal is to see our athletes at the Olympics. Do you understand? And to get there, athletes need to experience that type of tournament on a regular basis. So we cannot afford to have mediocre activities going on. They will never be ready when they meet elite level athletes to compete with. And so that is where my experience being an archer and experience planning and organizing the tournament comes into bear, because I've been at tournaments and I can see how certain parts of the organization can affect the performance or the psyche of the archer. And those are the things we are factoring into planning this, to ensure that at all levels, archers have a great experience. They are able to give their best and provide, all the support that we can give to have the best.
Well said, but I know from what I've gathered and my involvement in sports and other sports, there's so much challenges and hurdles that this sport needs to overcome to make it in the mainstream of inside the household of Nigerians. And a lot of people say it's because it's expensive. Some said it's not because it's expensive, that they still need to do a lot of grassroots work to ensure that at least in 10 household in a particular street, one should be talking about it, not even having it at home, because everything begins with the talking stage and all that. So what do you think needs to be done, even from the government angle, to ensure that this sport, an Olympic sport and one of the most popular sports in the world, should be infused in our daily lives? Yes,
so, and that's a very fantastic question. What we are hoping to achieve is that archery goes full stream. Is a grassroots sport. And that's why, for example, in Lagos, we are collaborating and partnering with the Lagos State Sports Commission, because you cannot get to that level without collaborating with government to get it to the grassroots. We are here doing media rounds about our tournament because we're trying to create awareness for people to know that, oh, there's a sport like archery. There are venues, there are locations across Lagos, across Nigeria. We have over 20 clubs in Nigeria that you can join to participate in archery. So these are the things we are doing actually to see this moving. And we are quite right about equipment for archery being expensive, but there's no sport that you are taking to Olympic level that is not expensive to get to. What we are possible get support and sponsorship to subsidize cost of a lot of these things for athletes, especially the junior athletes that are coming in. We're planning to set up a foundation that is able to raise funds to fund a lot of all these activities. Our target is to get to the under 18. When you come to the tournament, you will see the team from Ivory Coast, for example. They have archery academies, so the archery and school is fused together. These people are shooting every day, consistently. They are shooting Olympic grade archery, and they're all under 18. They are competing against full adults. And the adults are being given a run for their money. That is the type of level we need to get to. And these students are funded by their government, basically. So we need to get there, but you know, as with all things, we start with what we have, and that is what we are doing now, creating awareness and letting people know that there's a sport like archery. It has the power to do phenomenal things in the life of young people. Come on board and support us to get it to that level.
Apart from Lagos State government doing so well with what they've been doing with the support, have there been any other support from the federal level or not individual level right now? Have there been any support, maybe from the federation, in terms of supporting and all that? So, what's...
So not that I'm aware of now, but like I said, we are taking things a step at a time. So we are first of all conquering local, state, then from there we move to federal. But hopefully in the course of our journey towards the Olympics, because for us at the Archery Club is the journey to the Olympics for us. We are going to be step by step engaging all these stakeholders to get their buy-in and get us to get to the promised land.
Yeah, what have been the reception from this tournament, talking about other clubs in the countries? How many are we expecting? How happy are they? Are we also having the special needs athletes also in the tournament? So tell us about this time, because it's going to be at the Onikon Stadium.
Yes.
And
so the tournament is holding from the 19th to the 21st of June. That's from Thursday to Saturday at the Onikon Stadium in Lagos. We have close to 100 athletes participating across about 14 clubs, both in Lagos and outside, both from Nigeria and outside Nigeria, basically. We already have athletes that have arrived from Sunday. People have started arriving from all over to be part of this. We have the compound category, the Olympic recurve category, the Bebo category. We also have the under-18 category. For now, we don't have the para category because we didn't have enough entries for it, but in the last tournament we had the para category and we had about 4 athletes participating, but this time around we don't. But we have quite a number of people in the junior category. This was also made possible because we had sponsors that were willing to cover the cost of the juniors, and so their hostel, their accommodation throughout the tournament, feeding and participation cost was covered. So all the other 18 candidates that are coming for the tournaments are coming at no cost to them or their parents, basically. And that's what we are hoping to see continue to happen. Most of the medalists in the under-18 category, for example, will be winning brand new bulls as the prize. So it's our way of saying, you know what, we need to target these people early and we need to get them involved in the sport at a professional level very early on, basically. So those are the main things. Things to look out for, it's going to be quite competitive. It's elite level. Are
you shooting?
Yes, I'm shooting in the compound category, 50 meters compound category. I'm hoping to leave there with some medals.
In the last tournament, you're in the last tournament. Can you say, we know we have few female shooting archery in the country, few that I know of.
Okay, yeah.
As in
fewer than men,
fewer than men. Better. Did you categorize yourself as one of the best because you are in the last one? You got a medal there?
Well. In the compound category, it's from the tournament. We will do. Because it's one of the things we are trying to do now. So we are trying to set up a ranking system for Nigeria. Because now nobody can say we are the best or we are not the best. Because
but I can call a gold medal is one of the best, a silver medal.
Exactly.
Did you get any
but
of that?
Based, yes, I got that. I got gold for West Africa. I'm just trying to be humble, silver for Nigeria. But what we are hoping to introduce at the end of the tournament is a Nigerian ranking system, so that you can know your rank across Nigeria as an archer. So when we say someone is the best, it's not because you and 3 people were shooting at the back and you won a medal, but at a national level, we can agree that at this level, this person is ranked number 1, number 2, or number 3 in each of the categories. So it's one of the things we're going to make sure happens from this tournament, basically. Yeah,
let's go for this quick break. When we come back, there's a few questions for our listeners out there so that they will be part of it. It's interesting that when you come on a show, it's more of the time it doesn't have to be football, though we know there's a World Cup club going on, but the interesting thing happening in Lagos here is archery. So we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, we still have Adewonke, who is the chairman, local organizing committee for the forthcoming Zen Archery Lagos Open tournament.
Relax. That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now.
We have proceed.
Okay. Can I just see the IPO of this case? IPO. How are you?
No, welcome, sir.
That is my brother, and I want him out of this station now.
Do you know the offense he has committed, sir?
What do you guys want for the weekend? Okay, let me see your DPO.
This way, sir.
Oh, better. You don't know me here. That boy is my brother, and I want you to assist me to free him.
The man found the gun, confessed to robbery.
Things like this happen. 200,000 naira for you.
Are you bribing me?
500,000 naira.
Robbery suspect?
1 million naira.
That is corruption. Not allowed in this division.
1 million.
Remember,
Police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption, not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Interesting. We are live here, and we still have I don't care. We still have questions that a lot of our viewers want to be part of. You can join us on all our social media platforms to drop your comment, because conversation never stops when it comes to 360 Sport. Is one question we want to know, including myself also. Do you have a particular qualities in a person that to show that you can participate in archery? I mean, what are the qualities one should possess if I want to be an archer, and if there's none?
I feel archery is open to everyone. You just need to be determined, basically, and be open to learning. And you have to be resilient. Archery teaches you resilience, because you can go from 0 to north. So it's more around the soft skills that archery gives you.
You should just determine that I
you
want to be an
be-
archer.
You have to
and
be
I'm good.
determined that you're willing to learn. You're willing to learn your skills, technique, put in the discipline, because it could be boring, but that discipline is required to get to where you need to get to. So being able to put in the discipline, being able to be resilient, being able to have an open mind to know that you need to learn and be willing to continue learning. Those are the major things you need.
So after a month or 3 months of applying those attributes you've said, what am I going to get back in terms of benefit of being an archer?
So yes, you'd have learned a new skill.
Okay.
You'd have improved in the sport. You would have, you could decide to even start going into tournaments, because I usually say to people, once you go into a tournament, your skills improve like by 10%. And the more you go to tournaments, the better you become. A lot of times when you are practicing at home and practicing yourself, you're very lax, and you're just doing it at your own pace. It's like you put it through the fire, test that, oh, I'm this good, let's put it in the fire. And you see that, oh, am I really this good?
Okay.
How do I improve? How do I work under pressure? Because the pressure and the adrenaline of the tournament brings out, what is really there, basically. So yeah.
Okay. So now, tell us in numbers. You said that earlier, but I'm sure a lot of people also want to know more about that. What are also things you should be expecting at the Unicorn Stadium on that day? Because we hope we don't see so much of empty seats around because it's archery. But I know that the organizers, like you are the chairman, are putting things in place.
Yeah, so primarily, archery is still a young sport in Nigeria. We are hoping to have quite a number of spectators coming to watch and observe. Because the first day is primarily elimination stages, which could go on for hours for each category. Mostly we anticipate is mostly archers and their friends and families that will be present on Thursday and Friday. And on Saturday, the grand finale, we hope to have more people in the ground on the premises. We'll have some form of entertainment and, and stuff like that, dance and
I also believe in training the trainers. When there are more officials, there's a tendency that there'll be more, let me use the word recruits, into the system, more people willing. And what has Zen Archery or some other clubs like Archery and Lekki Archers, what are they doing to ensure that we have more officials with the knowledge of the sports? So
what we have done with this tournament is, like, currently today, training for all the officials and judges for the tournament is going on by World Archery certified officials. So they are getting trained the day ahead of the tournament to, as in, based on World Archery curriculum and all that. So we know that as you are developing the sport of archery, you need to be developing the officials and the technical aspects of the whole thing. So it's one of the reasons why there has been a lot of time investments and money investments in this, because even on the technical side, we are doing everything in accordance to World Archery regulations and technicalities, basically.
Okay, so we should be expecting world-class events.
Yes, you should.
Okay. Now let's also move from that and look basically about the major challenges in the growth of the sport in the country. That's quite important, because even developed sports say after season, but what are the major challenges that you think is roadblock, perhaps administrative-wise, perhaps infrastructure-wise?
So yeah, so there are quite a number. There are a lot of challenges in the sports of archery in Nigeria. One is around the federation, for example, which allows us to participate in more events, so a lot of archers don't have access to funding to participate in a lot of these things, which should come through the federation. There's also funding, so we don't have high performance training centers in Nigeria for archery. I'm not sure we have for so many sports either. But so like, for example, if I was supposed to go in for the Olympics, I may need to travel to a high performance center to be there for like 6 months to be trained and coached for the Olympics. We don't have those facilities in the country, which makes it more expensive to get our grassroots talents prepared for something like the Olympics. There's also a lot of, funding, both from private, getting it into, how there are no school activities or inter-school sporting games and activities that encourage a lot of sports coming in and, engaging athletes getting scholarships and encouraging them to do more sports and stuff like that. We don't have enough of that. Those are some of the things that would ensure that more and more people get into the sport and go into all these things. So yeah, so from the federation level to like funding, to like facility and equipment, to like getting schools and curriculums and the education system and youth development agencies to infuse archery into activities that are going on. Those are some of the obstacles basically that we see in archery.
Okay. And much talk about when it comes to archery. A lot of people ask, what's in that board? I mean, we see red, we see yellow,
yes, blue,
black,
white.
And I'm sure we'll be able to get one on our screen right now. A lot of people still don't understand what that stands for. Perhaps this might be an avenue, you understand, to let people know what those boards, the arrows and all that, what stands for with the board. Let's start with the board.
Yeah, so we
actually that's not a rainbow color, but
no, it's not a rainbow color. Okay. So we actually call it the bot.
The what?
The bot.
The bot.
The board on which the target face sits. So the circles you're describing with the colors is what we call the target face on the board.
Target face on the board, okay.
And you can see, so yellow is in the middle.
Okay.
The bullseye there are 2 circles in the middle. The inner one is the bullseye.
So beyond that yellow, there's a circle in that yellow.
Yes, that's the bullseye.
That's the bullseye.
So
What color is that?
Each is yellow as well. So each of the circles are actually split into 2. They're actually 2 circles. So the yellow has 2, the red has 2, the blue has 2.
But I'm not seeing a black in this one.
Yes, so because this face is for the compound archery.
Oh, this face is for the compound archery.
Yes, for the recurve and the bare bow, you have the black and the whites. Outside.
So this is a little bit lower than...
no, it's not lower. It's just for each of the categories, there are different target faces that are used. Yeah, there are different target faces. So you can see that there's a long line of archers over there. But if you look at, you see that they're using different bows, different types of bows. They're shooting different distances. Some will have the black, some will not have the black. So everybody's target is to aim for the bull's eye. And the more the bull's eyes you get, the higher your scores and the higher you rank amongst all the archers that you are present with.
Interesting. Well, one more question that I would like to... Is there world standard that an archer will stay 50 meters and shoot and go there himself to pick up? Or there have to be... Who's like in tennis, we have the pole boy and all that.
Yes.
But in archery, is it...
So, so it depends. So when you're doing your eliminations, that's the first day when there are so many people shooting and it's a lot of archers. Globally, you go and do that.
You can pick yourself.
Yeah, but once you get to the semi-finals and finals, that's when you have people go and do all that.
For you.
Yeah.
And that's applicable even international tournament.
Yes.
Okay. Because I do wonder that, oh, after shooting, I have to go there myself to peak.
Especially for the elimination round.
So, okay,
because then you can have like over 70 archers shooting, 12 ends, like it's a lot of arrows at once. So if people are going to go and pick for different people, it's a lot to pick at the same time.
It's a lot to pick at
yeah.
the time.
But most times when you watch archery tournaments online, what they are showing you most times is like the quarterfinals and the finals, where there are fewer athletes, fewer arrows, fewer boards. So yes, so it's almost like you have races. The heats, you don't see it on, they don't show you all the heats that happen. So the first days that we are our own version of heats, that's when a lot of times people have to go and pick.
Because I know how stressful sometimes
no, it is.
Seeing people going to pick. It's been interesting, and I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians. And one thing you didn't mention that I would like to mention is that it's an open event, and also that it's free.
Yes, yes. So to attend is free. To attend the event, to anyone that wants to come in and just have an experience of archery. To be
in the premises of Onicon.
To be in the premises of Onicon. It's free. Please feel free to walk in anytime from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, from the 19th to the 21st of.
So what's not free? It seems you are saying it's free to enter.
Yes, it's free to enter. So I'm just saying, because people may think that they can come in and register to participate as an archer. No, that one is already closed.
Okay, the registration is closed.
Yes, to participate as an archer. But to come in and watch the events, participate and do all that, it's free. Come in from 9 a.m., anytime from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay. It's been interesting talking archery with you, and we know that there'll be much of your engagement in the future in regards to archery.
Promotion of archery.
Promotion of archery. But encourage people out there, tell them, I mean, a word of parting words from you, that they can also be archers, like you are, from an archer to an archer administrator.
Yes, so I would like to say that I picked up archery at a point in time in my life. I was like, there's nothing new you can learn and take professionally. And I took up archery and, you know, became a professional athlete. So you can do anything, you can achieve anything, just set your mind to it. And yes, archery is one sport you should try.
Okay, thank you very much, We've been talking with the chairman, local organizing committee of the Lagos Archery Open Tournament that won the course 2.0. The last edition took place at the Telsim Balogun Stadium. So we've been from one stage of tournament to another, but this will be at Onicon Stadium, and it's a free event for all to be part of history, to be part of those that are pushing, whether as an athlete, whether as a spectator, that you're there at the Onicon Stadium to be part of this. But that's all we could take on to this program. I encourage you to join us on all our social media platforms so you can drop your conversation where the discussion never ends. I'm Steve Mudashirshitu. Thanks for watching.